Good afternoon, live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg. Focus on strengthening cooperation, advancing development priorities and ensuring a better future for the world. Ukraine faces difficult choice as Trump demands acceptance of peace plan. Zalinski says will not betray national interest. COP30 host Brazil urges unity as climate summit drifts past its schedule. Negotiations deadlocked over fossil fuels. And in cricket, India face South Africa in the series decider second test in Guwahati. The G20 Leaders Summit begins in South Africa's Johannesburg shortly. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attend the summit. He will present India's perspective in line with the vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or the world is one family, and one earth, one family, one future.
Will participate in G20 Summit. This summit is special because it is happening in Africa, on this continent for the first time. Prime Minister will present India's perspectives on the agenda that forms part of G20 Summit. He will also have several bilateral meetings on the sidelines.
South Africa has carried forward the outcomes from the previous G20 summits held in New Delhi and Rio de Janeiro, with solidarity, equality and sustainability being the theme of this presidency. It is the first G20 summit being held in Africa during India's presidency of G20 in 2023. The African Union had become a member of the G20 grouping. And DD India correspondent Amrit Pal Singh tells us more about Prime Minister's engagements today.
That's right. The Prime Minister shall be participating in the G20 summit, which opens today. President Cyril Ramaphosa, along with the leaders of the G20, shall be participating in the opening plenary. Prime Minister Modi is expected to make interventions. He's attending multiple sessions on economic growth, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, a session on disaster risk reduction, a session on how AI and technology and critical minerals in the areas of these, how they can the G20 and the world could work together. I think the Prime Minister's interventions will, of course, talk about specific areas of cooperation in new technologies, in critical minerals, in reducing poverty. But the central theme of the Prime Minister's intervention would be to see that how the world can work together. As he said in his departure statement, he will share his perspective, India's perspective on the developments in the world and what is the way forward. He would be carrying the message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future. The Prime Minister also would hold bilateral meetings with world leaders. He could meet the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. In fact, he's already yesterday held a meeting with the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. He's expected to meet more leaders on the sidelines of the G20 summit. He'll also be meeting the leaders of IBSA, that's India, Brazil, South Africa. There will be a summit meeting of the three leaders on the sidelines of the G20.
Earlier on Friday, Prime Minister Modi held a meeting with his Australian counterpart, Anthony Albanese. This year, the strategic partnership between the two nations completes 5 years. These years have witnessed significant outcomes and have deepened the cooperation. During the talks, the two leaders emphasized on three key sectors: defense and security, nuclear energy, and trade, where there is immense potential for ties to grow further. The other sectors discussed include education, cultural exchanges, and more. Both leaders also reaffirmed their shared commitment to strengthening global fight against terrorism. Prime Minister also interacted with Indian origin tech entrepreneurs in Johannesburg. They talked about the work they're doing in sectors such as fintech, social media platform, agriculture, education, healthcare, medical devices and others. Prime Minister called upon the tech leaders to deepen their engagement with India and work closely with the people. And DD India's Amritpal Singh later interacted with these tech entrepreneurs, sharing insights from their exchange.
After his arrival in Johannesburg, the Prime Minister met with the Indian diaspora, both community leaders and tech entrepreneurs. I have with me a group of tech entrepreneurs who have just met the Prime Minister. They met the Prime Minister on Friday evening. Let's know from them that what transpired in this meeting with the Prime Minister.
It was an exchange of information between what we do here, and he's trying to link us with an understanding of what happens there as well. Very inspirational guy. It was really worth being part of the conversation.
So what did you speak to the Prime Minister about, ma'am?
Agriculture, food security, how we can scale for both India and South Africa, and how we can make it a better, innovative connection between us.
Okay. And what particular areas did you discuss with the Prime Minister?
Having a media background, we do have an intersection of education, technology, as well as agriculture. That is basically what our company Doordarshan offers, which is what we spoke to him about.
Okay. I have with me Rahul Jain. Rahul Jain, originally from Delhi, but now based in Cape Town. You work, I understand, in the payments business. What was your discussion with the Prime Minister about?
The Prime Minister is very interested in, wondering how we can bridge technological barriers between India and South Africa. Digital payments is at the forefront in India, and UPI obviously has taken the lead. So what can India and South Africa do together, and also rest of the continent? So we are in 10 countries on the continent today, and the Prime Minister is very keen to build that relationship and grow the collaboration between the two nations.
What was your assessment of the meeting with the Prime Minister? What did he tell you?
I think it's amazing, more than anyone could ask for, to be honest, even that little bit of time. I talked about my visual effects platform, and obviously India is a well-known visual effects giant, becoming a giant now in the industry. So we just talked about how these new technologies can benefit the Indian visual effects industry. Yeah.
So clearly the Prime Minister engaging with tech entrepreneurs of Indian origin here in South Africa. With cameraman Sanjay Jena, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Johannesburg.
On day one of the visit, Prime Minister interacted with members of Naspers Group, including Chairman Koos Becker and CEO Fabricio Blasi. Deepening investment linkages in India's digital ecosystem, AI, startup and space sectors featured prominently in the discussions. It is important how Naspers is working with talented youth across diverse sectors. Naspers' success in India reflects ease of doing business and the strength of the startup ecosystem in the country. The Prime Minister also interacted with members of Indian community based in South Africa who are actively working with different community organizations. They shared their experiences on various issues and were appreciative of India's strides across different fields. Prime Minister urged them to keep up the momentum with which they are enhancing people-to-people linkages. He also asked them to boost the popularity of Indian culture among the people of South Africa, including practices such as yoga, Ayurveda, urging more people from South Africa to take part in Bharat Ko Janiye or Know India quiz. During the interaction, PM received a kalash from Chinmay Mission, consisting of Sri Anna or millets from India as well as South Africa. This will be placed in Annapurna Devi Temple in Durban, South Africa. India has emphasized the need for stronger international cooperation for better protection of seafarers. Indian envoy to United Nations, P. Harish, highlighted Indian Navy's role in Western Arabian Sea amid various threats. He said credible, swift actions of Indian Navy have saved more than 520 lives, irrespective of nationality.
Over the last 2 years, in response to shipping attacks and rising incidents of piracy in the Western Arabian Sea, the Indian Navy has deployed over 35 ships in the region, carried out more than 1,000 boarding operations, and has responded to over 35 incidents. The credible and swift actions of the Indian Navy have saved more than 520 lives, irrespective of nationality.
At the UN, the ambassador also underscored that India's Sagar Mein Samman initiative under Maritime India Vision 2030 to promote gender-sensitive safety standards, improved accommodation and sanitation on board, zero tolerance for harassment and integration of gender considerations into safety management and audit processes. Moving on, in a historic move, the central government in India on Friday implemented 4 labour codes: the Code on Wages, Industrial Relations Code, the Code on Social Security and the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code have been implemented from 21st November. With the implementation of these codes, 29 outdated labour laws have been transformed into simple, modern and integrated framework. The government claims that these reforms will prove to be a transformative step towards providing better wages, safety, social security and modern working conditions for Indian workers. The Modi government at the centre has taken a historic decision, rationalising 29 existing labour laws with 4 new labour codes. This is considered a step that will bring a historic revolution in the lives of more than 400 million workers in India. Prime Minister Modi, while giving information on social media X, writes, Shramev Jayate, today our government has given effect to the 4 labour codes. It is one of the most comprehensive and progressive labour-oriented reforms since independence. It greatly empowers our workers. It also significantly simplifies compliance and promotes ease of doing business. These codes will serve as a strong foundation for universal social security, minimum and timely payment of wages, safe workplaces and remunerative opportunities for our people, especially Nari Shakti and Yuva Shakti. It will build a future-ready ecosystem that protects the rights of workers and strengthens India's economic growth. These reforms will boost job creation, drive productivity and accelerate our journey towards a Viksit Bharat. Union Labour and Employment Minister Mansukh Mandavia wrote on social media, Modi government's guarantee respect for every worker. From today, new labour codes have come into effect across the country, ensuring guarantee of minimum wages on time for all workers, guarantee of appointment letters for the youth, guarantee of equal pay and respect for women, guarantee of social security for 40 crore workers, guarantee of gratuity for fixed-term employees after 1 year, free annual health checkups for workers above 40 years of age, double wages for overtime work, 100% health security for workers in hazardous sectors, and social justice for workers in line with international standards. This reform is not just a change but a historic decision taken by Prime Minister Modi for the welfare of labour heroes. These new labour reforms are an important step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat and will provide new momentum to the goal of Viksit Bharat 2047. This historic decision by the government is being widely welcomed. The Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh has called it a commendable step. The demand for changes to decades-old labour laws since independence has been simmering for a long time. The decision will impact millions of workers across the country. The implementation of 4 labour codes is considered the biggest reform in the labour sector. The government has also clarified that extensive consultations will be held with all stakeholders during the formulation of the regulations. Bureau Report, DD India. And following the implementation of 4 labour codes, social media is rife with misconceptions that the new labour codes significantly diminish worker rights. Ministry of Labour and Employment, Government of India, has officially dismissed social media misconceptions and stated that new labour codes do not affect the right to strike. The codes promote dispute resolution through dialogue, reducing disruptions of work, loss of man days and production. Moving on, today is day 3 of the 56th edition of International Film Festival of India, IFFI, where the red carpet is set to roll for many of the international film participants. From masterclasses to daily premieres, the day will also witness the second day of IFFI Fiesta to keep guests entertained throughout the festival. Along with this, 48-hour Creative Minds of Tomorrow challenge is also on, where young minds are flexing their creative skills to bring out the best. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. US President Trump and New York Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani strike a surprisingly friendly note in the first meeting. US Federal Aviation Administration issues urgent warning for Venezuelan airspace.
India did not agree that Hindus and Muslims could not live together. This was a birth of a country or two countries, but it was a birth that was also an abortion, because you were literally killing this country that was being born at that point. Every time a Muslim came to prominence in India, President of India, Chief Justice of India, cricket captains, whatever, it was a standing rebuke of the very Pakistani idea. If a Muslim could achieve all this in India, then why did Pakistan need to be created?
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Shifting focus to other news, the Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday welcomed the US peace plan, said the plan could lay the foundation for a Ukraine peace deal, confirming for the first time that Moscow had received a copy from the United States. Putin, in a televised comment, said he believes that it can be used as the basis for a final peaceful settlement, adding the plan had not been discussed in detail with Russia. Putin also threatened to seize more territory if Kiev rejects the proposal, saying that the claimed recent capture of Ukrainian city Kupiansk.
We have this text. We received it through existing channels of communication with the US administration. I believe it can be used as a basic of a financial peaceful settlement, but it has not been discussed with us in detail, and I can guess why. The reason is the same. The US administration has so far failed to secure Ukraine's consent. Ukraine is against it.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pledged on Friday to work fast and constructively with the US on peace plan to end the conflict with Russia. In a video statement, he urged Ukrainians to remain united in what he described as one of the most difficult moments in the country's history, adding he would not betray his country's national interest.
Now it is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Now the pressure on Ukraine is one of the most difficult. Now Ukraine may find itself facing a very difficult choice, either the loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner, either the difficult 28 points or an extremely difficult winter. The most difficult, and for the risk, the national Ukrainian interest must be taken into account. We are not making loud statements. We will calmly work with America and all partners. There will be a constructive search for solutions with our main partner.
Earlier, President Zelensky had a phone call with US Vice President J.D. Vance and said that Ukraine would work with United States and Europe at an advisory level to work towards a peace plan for his country's conflict with Russia. US President Trump said Ukrainian President Zelensky will have to like the US plan to end the conflict with Russia. Speaking in the Oval Office, Trump said the approaching winter, the mounting death toll, repeated attacks on Ukrainian energy plants underscored the urgency of ending the conflict. Washington's 28-point plan calls on Ukraine to cede territory, accept limits on its military, and renounce ambitions to join NATO.
President Zelensky, about your plan?
I've spoken with their people. We have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president, and it's a shame. And I thought they should have acted quicker. But it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy-producing plants have been under attack. To put it mildly, to put it nicely. Yeah, we have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace.
President Trump vowed on Friday that his administration would work with New York's incoming Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani to improve life of residents of the US financial capital. The political opposites have clashed over everything from immigration to economic policy in the past, but standing side by side in the Oval Office, the two men struck a surprisingly conciliatory tone. The men, two different generations of New Yorkers, announced nothing new on the policy except what seemed to be the launch of an unexpected, politics-shifting professional friendship.
Well, thank you very much. We've just had a great meeting, a really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in common. We want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against, a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat them easily.
What I've shared with the president is our desire to not only follow the laws of our own city, laws that protect New Yorkers, but also a desire for consistency in our politics across the board. And that's something that we've talked about and something that I know many New Yorkers want.
As Mamdani surged in the polls to victory on November 4th, Trump had issued threats to strip federal funding from New York City. Mamdani has regularly criticized Trump's promise to ramp up federal immigration enforcement efforts in a city where 4 in 10 residents are foreign-born. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration issued a warning to major airlines on Friday over a potentially hazardous situation, it says, when flying over Venezuela, urged them to exercise caution. The FAA also alleged that Venezuelan military has advanced fighter jets, various weapon systems capable of reaching or surpassing the altitudes of civil aircraft. There is also a potential low-altitude threat from air defense systems and anti-aircraft artillery. COP30 faces a showdown after latest draft dropped all references to phasing out fossil fuels, triggering strong objections from many countries. The new COP30 draft released in Brazil removes all fossil fuel language, dropping earlier options for a transition plan. Over 30 countries have opposed the draft, demanding a roadmap to move away from fossil fuels. Panama and Chile criticized the text, saying it ignores science and fails to act on rising emissions. The draft seeks to triple adaptation finance by 2030. It does not specify funding sources. Saudi Arabia and other oil producers have been opposing a fossil fuel roadmap, while nations like France, Germany, Mexico, Spain and South Korea insisted the current draft cannot be accepted. On to sports. India is facing South Africa in the series deciding second test match in Guwahati. South Africa skipper Themba Bavuma won the toss, opted to bat first. Openers Aiden Markram and Ryan Rickelton gave South Africa the start they hoped for as the duo stitched 82 stand before it was broken by Jasprit Bumrah. Kuldeep Yadav then struck immediately after the tea break to remove Ryan Rickelton. This is a must-win game for India if they have to level the two-match series. South Africa handed India a shocking 30-runs defeat in the first test in Kolkata. India delivered a performance of historic scale at the World Boxing Cup Finals 2025, clinching an extraordinary 9 gold medals, the highest ever tally at a global boxing event. Marking the close of this golden streak, did India's Gaurav Kumar caught up with Jasmine Lamboria, one of the 15 Indian boxers competing in the finals, to capture her reflections on India's remarkable show and the momentum heading into the next stage.
Right now we have Indian boxer Jasmine Lamboria. Let's talk to her and try to know about his current victory. Jasmine, welcome to DD India. And first of all, lots of congratulations for this achievement.
Thank you, sir.
What you would like to say about this achievement?
Sir, this is our World Boxing Cup final held at Greater Noida, and I represent in 957 weight category. I won gold medal here also. This means a lot to me. Like I won 3 back-to-back gold medals in international level, in World Cup at Astana, World Championship at Liverpool, and the World Cup final here at Greater Noida. I fought with Olympic bronze medalists. So in my weight category, like there is a good boxer. So I fought well, and we share a good experience inside the ring. So for me, like it's a very good tournament.
Next is very important here. So do you think that by this tournament you can achieve and your morale has been boosted up for the next year's tournament?
I found myself very boosted and motivation also, so that I can do better in future also.
To whom you dedicate this victory?
This is for all, like for our BFI, for our Indians also. Yeah.
Thanks talking to us. So this is Jasmine Lamboria, who is saying that this victory means for her a lot, but she is still focusing on herself, and she is very much confident that she will give a good note for the next year Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, and also for Asian Championship. With cameraman Bimlesh, this is Gaurav Kumar reporting from New Delhi, DD India.
And with that, we conclude this edition of DD India Live. Namaskar.